Well, here we go.
Hey, that was the longest countdown ever.
I know. It doesn't need to be 2 minutes. What am I doing? I can change that. We're learning.
Hey, it's pretty good. I don't know if this can be working, but let's give it a shot.
You know what? It's if anybody's out there and actually watches this shit, go ahead and say something because I don't know. I don't know if this is even hitting TikTok or if it's hitting YouTube or if it's hitting anything.
I don't
Twitch
know.
is running. It's all going.
Like I've tried to get on Instagram. It is not going on Instagram. So I don't know.
If I click onto my Facebook and I click onto my YouTube and I click onto it says that I'm live.
Right.
TikTok's not too. You could probably go on my TikTok and see if I'm live from your phone.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, we're going to get a whole lot of feedback on this one here. But let's find out.
Are you using your phone right now?
I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to give it a shot here. Now, it says my Instagram is streaming, but I don't think it is. I think it's lying to me personally.
No, it's the internet. The internet doesn't lie.
No, the internet never lies. That's the problem. It's just us old people who don't really understand how the tech works. It's embarrassing, really.
Talk about tech. This camera that I've got has this thing, this AI eye tracking bullshit.
Oh,
and I put it on. And the problem is if I do this, I have eyeballs that are still looking at the camera.
Oh, nice.
That's so wonderful. I ask that if I'm ignoring the camera, I'm ignoring the camera. Not that I'm ignoring the camera, but I'm looking at the screens and doing everything else.
So here we go. There is you on TikTok.
Oh, look at me. And look at you on TikTok.
Working. It is working.
Well, then it's going to be, are we going to see our chat? Say hi.
I don't think so because there are some people who have commented on it. And somebody said hi, and I'm not seeing anything. You might be seeing it because it's on yours. But
okay, guys. No, I'm not seeing anything on here. We got a problem, guys. We can't see the chat, which means bear with us. We don't know what we're doing. Oh, chat. Hang on. Never miss a comment. Okay, yeah, I'm trying never to miss a comment.
Never miss a comment. This thing is lying to us, I think.
Okay. Click on oh my God. We should have done this when nobody was watching, but everybody's going to watch.
Don't worry, nobody's going to watch. Nobody's going to watch this stuff. Don't worry. Like, people got to be crazy if they're going to settle in on a Friday night and watch us.
Why don't I have my chats? Toggle on, pair channels. It's all there. View on YouTube, view on Twitch. Well, I guess we just pretend that no one's watching.
Well, I don't think
that's fair.
Do people actually watch our stuff? Like that's
nobody watches our stuff. We're not that entertaining, but it's more entertaining when people actually chime in on this.
Well, what I really miss is the last time we had some guy trolling us. Who was that? Had some stuff to go on then at that point in time, right?
Well, the problem is we had oh my God. Oh, something is working. We've got live help from Restream while I'm doing this. I'm sorry, I have a problem. Chats aren't showing up.
Is it a person or is it an AI?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That's wonderful.
Okay, let's get into this.
So because I'm getting frustrated with this.
He's probably going to switch something in the internet world, and we're going to see a blast of everybody. You'll get your replies here in an email. Oh. Yeah, okay. I'll get a reply whenever the human being gets there. So
why is it we can't get a human being anymore?
Because it's more efficient, Jay.
I guess so. I guess
it's more efficient to have horrible people on the phone. Well, we've gotten used to that, right? Like it's consistently. I apologize to everybody because I can't see your chat. I mean, this sucks. But 5 people. Oh. Okay, so you go on the eyeball, you can see that people are watching. More people are watching your YouTube, but I never used my YouTube until like right now.
I don't have any freaking eyeballs. I don't know what you're talking about here.
Well, I'm in control here, and I'm trying to make things work, but it's not. So I apologize for everybody. We're going to be just talking and not getting into a chat with everybody until I can figure out technology, because I don't. Okay, so what was our topic today? We're going to talk, we had, first of all, Jay, how was your week? Let's get into that first.
Apparently, I look a little blue in this angle here.
You're usually a different color.
Yeah, usually it's a little. I could change that. I can make it go a little more yellow if you like.
That would be fantastic.
So, there you go. I'll flip it up to a little more yellow. That didn't change much, eh?
It's
Okay.
really bringing out the yellow in your skin, though.
Bringing out the yellow. Yeah, wonderful, eh? So, here we go. There, this is a little more color. Perfect. How was the week? Let's talk about that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, didn't you say it was like mental health week or something?
Gage was doing a mental health project for school. And, he's asking, so what are mental health issues? I'm like, well, look at me. That's what it looks like.
You know why? It's because we're Gen Xers. We're not weak like the younger generations. We've taken all the hurt and the trauma and we've internalized it and turned it into energy to attack our enemies with.
Well, you know what? I think that's about right. We were good at bottling it up because we were taught that that's the best way to do it, right?
Yep.
Like our parents. Here's the thing. I remember dating when I was younger, and they were like, we're not getting involved with any relationships you're in. Nothing. I couldn't ask for advice. But they're like, you know what? If I give you the advice that you go with it and it doesn't work out, then you're going to blame me. Figure your shit out.
Yep.
Like there was no coddling.
Yep.
Which is fair. Like why do we do this? Why do we have extended adolescence? Like people that are emotionally immature, well into their 30s. When we were like 15, we were buying cigarettes and doing whatever we wanted, and we really didn't want to talk to our parents.
Well, I mean, really, the world, times are tough, but they're a lot easier right now, right? They're like at different times, right? Like I wouldn't say financially they're easier, but it's a different time, right?
Life got easier. It doesn't mean it got better.
You have a lot of younger people, like teenagers or young kids. They have a lot of money. You get a lot of kids. They have cell phones. They have the internet connectivity and everything. So why would they need to do anything risky? Like think of some of the dumb stuff that we used to do on weekend, right?
Pit parties.
I mean, people don't do that anymore. And I remember when my son was growing up, I made a joke to my wife. I was like, he's 15. Do I need to go buy a 6-pack of beer for him, pull some beer for him just to get him out of the house?
Well, I was the guy at 15, 16 that was big enough to pull booze for my friends.
Yeah. Okay. I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was the guy going to buy, or you would make what we called a bitches brew, which was a little bit out of every bottle in Dad's liquor cabinet, and you mix it together,
stir it up, and you hope for the best.
Dude, we had whiskey, rum, vodka, tequila, Baileys. Oh, hang on. Look at this. All of them.
Well, I mean, that's probably, if you want an example of poor mental health development, I guess you could just look at us.
Well, we were raised to be like this.
Yeah.
Like we were raised to be.
I'm pretty sure we were not in the manual. Like we were not a part of the actual directions.
No. Oh, there we go. Hey, BJ just showed up on Facebook. There we go. BJ.
We got
my favorite first name.
BJ there. Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook. Who else are we on? We're on Twitch.
Yep.
We got somebody. Instagram. There's a human being. His name is Den. And Den is helping us.
Excellent.
Things are happening.
He's a real person. And we even have one person watching. This is fantastic.
Well, we got more than that, but we got BJ. At least, okay, thank you, BJ. At least we know that somebody's figuring this out. Our chat's working on Facebook.
You like us. You really do like us.
He does like us, or he's bored, or he's in the bathroom. He's probably dropping a deuce, and he's like, oh, nothing good on TikTok. I guess I'll watch these dipshits talk about whatever they're talking about.
Nothing else to do on a Friday night.
Ronnie's watching.
Martin. There you go. Someone else is watching. Excellent. There we go.
Okay.
So this is two old guys trying to figure out some new technology, and we needed to call tech support.
We were okay, guys. Just to make us not look like complete dipshits. So Dan is going to send us messages on all the platforms, so that's fine.
So he's doing it. What?
The guy from Restream is going to send messages through on the other platforms to make sure they come through.
So he's manually doing it?
Darvel, a couple old studs. Oh my God. People, I didn't think people actually watch Facebook. I thought we were all addicted to TikTok while we were mixing drinks, cooking, and doing a shit.
That way, so
so
he's going to put them all through manually or what?
I don't know what he's doing. It's tech. You're the Chinese guy. You tell me how it works.
Like, we could really drive him crazy if we get about 100 people messaging. He'll never be able to keep up.
Growcheski. Kids don't know how to find their outplay video games talk online. Here's the thing. Everybody got real brave when they didn't have to get a punch in the mouth.
Well, that's true, isn't it? So,
like,
I had a theory about this is be the best way to solve all solutions in the world. Everybody gets one punch on everybody. Okay? One punch legally, no consequences. Somebody really screws up and you can just give it to them, right? Just once. But then they have to really think about, do I want to retaliate? Right? Do I want to use it now or do I want to use it later? So it's very civilized, actually.
You know what? Because our kids are 9 and 11, Bo's an easy target, and Gage could be a bit of a dick. And I've told him, Bo has one. She's got one. And she'll probably never do it, but when it happens, holy Christ. And I said, she's got one. She hasn't cashed in yet.
Not yet.
Okay, Restream just said something on, that's the brand channel. Yeah. Okay, buddy.
Hello.
Okay, so YouTube, he's texting. Get me on TikTok, please. I need the TikTok chat because those guys are active.
There's a Twitch. There we go.
Twitch. Someone's on Twitch. So Bo has one shot, and I've warned Gage, like, dude, she's got one. No consequences. I don't care if it's right in the face. Don't give a shit if she nails you right in the nuts. That's fine. And every time he pushes, I'm like, one of these days, man, she's going to be a little taller, a little stronger, and a little more hormonal. And holy Christ, you're going to cry.
Yep.
And it's going to happen. And I'm not going to say a word. I'm like, you know what? You had this coming for 5 years, and she banked it.
You know what? I'm going to wait for the day that, you send me a text message and say, he was asleep and she snuck into his room and just punched him while he was asleep.
Just a sock full of quarters.
Right? Don't mention this, Dad, because it didn't happen or else.
But here's the thing. When you had back in the day, if someone was going to talk shit, they had to answer for it. Okay, this guy's trying to get back to me, which is nice. Support's good, but nothing's working on. He's a tech guy.
He probably knows. He knows.
And don't you think that guy? Is there a chance that there was a little bit less of the victim mentality when there were actually consequences for being a douchebag?
Well, yeah. I mean, like nowadays, it's almost like people can push as far as they can because they know nothing's really going to happen when it comes down to it.
Oh. Okay, so TikTok, apparently we have to, that sucks. Twitch and YouTube are working and Facebook is working. Okay, that's great, but TikTok is not. So TikTok,
there we go.
How the hell do you manage it on both pages if you can't run a camera on two different, or am I supposed to sit here with my phone like an idiot? I'm not going.
Maybe. You need more cameras, maybe. That would help.
The hell does that say? Quentin Durr's limited who can comment on this. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that, dude, but I need my TikTok chat to show up. Bear with us. We're learning. TikTok was a little slicker. I'll tell you that. It never didn't work.
Well, until it didn't work in, half of the, North America.
Yeah, and everybody's got this. There's a conspiracy that the whole thing is Meta took it and okay.
Yeah, I've heard some of them. I've heard some of those conspiracy theories, and I don't buy into any of them, honestly.
No, there isn't a setting you can update on your end, so we'll have to check. My Facebook's fine, bro. My TikTok's not working. Okay, I'm not happy. Anyway, okay, fine. Sorry, TikTok. We love you guys, but we got to figure this out. If I have to, that's why I'm on a 2-week trial with these guys. Because I mean,
hold on here. I can read you any comments. You got Canadian Ape talking there.
Canadian Ape, you're gonna have to find us.
Yep.
Find us on Facebook then, because this is sadly not the best. Sorry, guys.
Or on YouTube. Hey, no, that's why we're trying it out.
Yeah, hit YouTube. I think that's the best one of the bunch. So where were you? Okay, so when we were younger, if you talk shit, there's a good chance you're going to see the kid in school the next day, and there's a good chance you're going to get punched in the mouth. And there were less of us claiming victim, right? Because you knew that you wrote a check that you really couldn't cash.
Yep.
But now someone can say words and life's over.
Yep.
Right. So what happened? Where did we go from? Like, did physical make more sense? Back in the day, you had a fight with a guy, and once it was down, it was it. Now they fight dirty with weapons.
That's the thing, like now they will boot stomp you, like the curb stomp you, right? There's no just simple fights,
There was no honorable fight, right? Like,
yeah.
And if someone jumped in, like even back in the day, if you and me got into a scrap and you were going to kung fu my ass, and someone jumped in, you won. You won because someone jumped in.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of respect and honor on that sort of thing, right?
Right. And I don't know. I think
then it went to the streets. It went to the streets is what happened. Too much. Some people showing up with lead pipes or whatever.
We never had. I don't remember anybody coming to school with anything. No weapons.
I do once.
Nunchucks? Tell me it was nunchucks. Did you bring nunchucks?
That makes sense. Like a lead pipe. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember sitting in the hallway, and all of a sudden, this guy walks by with a lead pipe, and was like, "Oh, it's getting serious here."
Was he a plumber?
Yeah, most definitely not a plumber.
Well,
things are very, very different.
Well, and I think that when we had that back in the day, it was over. Like, it was done. Like even Dean saying, back in the day, you had a fight and it was done. And when it was done, it was done. And lots of times you'd end up respecting the guy a little bit more. You'd end up hanging out. I was friends with people that I got into scraps with in high school. Like suddenly you get along.
Yep.
Like you pushed it. Open TikTok's live monitor page. Oh, well, Jayon, there's a live monitor page. No shit. Okay.
How about that? So the problem with nowadays with online is the bullying. So it sounds so ridiculous to say it, but imagine being like a young kid who's really addicted to one of these things and getting, 1,000 hate messages a day.
Well, and why? Like, I don't get that. Because if you have message, like, what do messages mean? Like, if someone called you, you'd ask them to come to your house and okay, let's have a talk.
Yeah. Well, people are really tough. Like one day I put a controversial topic up onto YouTube, and I literally had a person saying that he was going to come and unalive me. He's going to come right up to my house and find me. And I kind of looked at his profile and I was like, you're like in Puerto Rico. Like you're going to drive up here? Like you don't even know where here is there, man. But that's just kind of how some of these people talk. They'll say whatever they want. So I just told him I'd meet him outside.
And did it happen?
No. Well, maybe he's outside still, but he'd be in for a real surprise when it turned out to minus 35. I bet he'd turn around.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Now I've got our TikTok chat.
Is it working?
Look at that. The tech. Well, I've got it here. You got to go. I got to go on my TikTok. Okay, I'm back. Okay, Canadian Ape, I can see you. Good. I got to look at two screens.
You need two monitors now.
I do have two monitors.
We need a third.
Yeah, I can see you, Canadian Ape. Perfect. So I got to look this way and then that way. So you're right. There was a time when
you could just cross your eyes.
Crop my eyes?
Cross them. Look them at the same time, right?
I could, but I could just do this and look like an asshole because I'm looking that way. I'll minimize it and put it over here. No, I think that when you talk about kids that are dealing with mental disorder or mental health, when you have people that are bullying them and they don't have the balls to actually push you down in the playground, that's a coward. I mean, most bullies are cowards, but I mean, at least my bully beat the piss out of me. Thank you.
I mean, there's something to be said about that. There's something more annoying than getting into a stare down or face down and having the aggressor going, "You're not worth it," and walking away. It's like, what was this all about then?
Well, the thing is, did you have a bully?
Of course I did. Look at me.
Yeah, right. So was it purely racial?
I never had any racial on me.
Really?
Never.
I find that hard to believe because you're
like maybe once at one point in time, but yeah, like it's not. It really wasn't a big thing,
And you know what? I think I would agree that we lived in the least racial time.
We didn't have the big media exposure about all this stuff.
We didn't care. Like, I didn't care what color you were. Are you a dick? Or are you decent? Like, that's all I cared about.
Yep.
And that should have been all it was. Like, I think a person's really grasping at straws when they decide that they're going to
just like a certain color or ethnic group or religion or whatever it might be.
Or religion or sexual orientation. Like, I don't care. I really don't care. And I shouldn't have to care that you're Chinese. You shouldn't have to care that I'm a dirty Ukrainian. It shouldn't really matter. And when you make that your identity, then of course you're going to attract a lot of shit to you.
Yep, exactly.
Like I said, you better love pierogies or you're like, come on, you don't have to love what I love. You really don't.
No, but you're making a mistake if you don't.
You are making a mistake. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I've never had a pierogi that wasn't good.
Never had a pierogi you didn't love, right?
What's the worst Chinese food you've ever made?
The
worst thing. You people make some messed up shit.
Yeah. Oh, we're people now. Good.
We're people now.
Good.
Everyone is bullied.
There's a few things that I don't like. And it's typically like the oversweet type stuff that I don't really like.
Was it is wontons is I got a question. Is what's the soup that's always at the end of the buffet? Come on.
Consommé?
Is that just soy sauce and water?
No, it's a little bit different than that.
Really?
Yeah, it's got some chicken stock in it too.
So. Okay, because I tried to make it. It just tastes like watered down soy sauce.
In general, you got to put chicken stock in it or sugar and salt.
I don't know these things.
And soy sauce, of course, you got to put soy sauce. So you got to put a little bit of sesame oil in there. Not too much, otherwise it just turns all to garbage.
Does sesame oil actually taste like something?
Salt?
That's what really doesn't taste like salt in Chinese food?
Sweet. MSG?
Isn't MSG just salt?
Have you ever tried MSG straight?
Why would I do that?
Have you ever? You haven't tried it before.
Does it give you tumors or make you do math better?
You've got more gooder. Do you have MSG at your house?
I don't think so. With
it'll be called accent in your spice rack.
I would imagine I don't have MSG here.
You know what? We're gonna do an MSG challenge, and we're gonna video it on you sometime.
Does it taste good?
Oh, it tastes wonderful.
You're full of shit.
It tastes wonderful.
I've seen people from Asia eat live octopus.
It tastes great when it's with food. So I'll bring over some MSG, not a lot, and it's like the cinnamon challenge.
Who keeps MSG in their house? Jayon keeps MSG in his house.
I do.
You keep MSG? Do you keep MSG in your house?
I do. Of course I do. I'm Chinese.
I guess it'd be like, do I have onions everywhere? Yeah, I have onions and I have lots of onions.
It's like you shouldn't even have to ask that question, honestly.
Is there a difference between soy sauces?
Is there a difference? There's a huge difference.
Oh gosh, it's liquid salt.
There are so many different types of soy sauce. Even like I know there's two types, and there's like so many different kinds.
It's like asking a white guy if there's a lot of different ketchups.
Well, here's a question. Salt, okay? How many types of salt are in Japan? Okay, guess how many?
Well, I'm guessing there's that Himalayan mountain salt. That's a thing.
The Himalayan sea salt, right?
Okay. How the hell does something that was millions of years old have a fucking expiry date of 2027?
Isn't that the question, eh? So,
is that just so you people can sell more of it?
Absolutely. So in Japan, there are 4,000 types of salt.
That's bullshit. Why?
Start counting.
But what? Okay. What did they all taste like?
They're kind of salty, I guess. One form or another, a little salty.
Like I couldn't tell you the difference between salts. Just like
You totally could.
You could, because you have a very...
No. 100%. If I put out 5 different types of salt, you could tell the difference on every single one of them.
And you weren't bullied as a kid?
Yeah. I already told you I was.
I'm just saying, like, these are the facts that most people wouldn't care to know.
Hey, bullies eat food too, man.
Bully, you know what my bully used to beat the piss out of me for? A Big League Chew.
Big League Chew.
My grandparents used to give it to me every weekend, and then he'd take it from me every Monday.
Can you still get Big League Chew?
You can.
They haven't banned it yet, eh?
It's gum. Oh, because it apparently looks like chewing tobacco.
Like Popeye sticks, right?
Just let them be candy cigarettes, for Christ's sakes. This is what happens. We bubble wrap the piss out of everybody. And then here's the thing. I think as soon as there's any kind of pushback in life, there's a breakdown because they're not ready for anybody to say no.
Yep.
Like,
that's kind of the problem. There's no resiliency with a lot of people nowadays.
I think that we say yes way too much. And maybe because we had a different Morton salt. When it rains, it pours.
There we go. Right.
What the hell is Morton salt? I have table salt.
Morton's is a non-clumping salt.
Do you know that off the top of your head?
I do, because that's the name. When it rains, it pours. That's where the phrase came from.
Oh, okay.
See, when it's wet outside, the humidity, right? So
you're a lot smarter than me in a lot of different ways.
I just have a lot more time on my hands.
Yeah.
A trivial pursuit, right?
I have kosher salt.
Yeah.
Which I do like better because it's bigger chunks of salt, and I believe that it's been blessed in some fancy way.
It is holier. Yep.
It is the holy salt.
Yep.
But I'm not Jewish.
That doesn't matter. So
it was their catchphrase. When it rains, it pours. So that shit just pours out like don't let a child try and pour their salt with that.
Yeah, pretty much. Better than ketchup.
Better than ketchup.
Yeah. So you can get some salt at the store that's actually, it's like flakes. If you toss that onto your pierogies or your kubasau, you would love it.
Change my life.
Change your life.
Change my religion. Oh, something else happened here.
Change your life.
Okay, since you're all set, I'll go ahead and close this chat. Okay, thanks. That was great. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. That's
nice guy. Nice guy, that Dan.
Nice guy, that Dan. So I did get my chat to work, and I could see Canadian Apes knocking it out. Lou just joined. So are we causing this, or like, why were we just tougher when we bottled this shit up?
Well, I mean, seriously, like every parent wants their kids' lives to be better than the one that they experience themselves.
Wouldn't take much,
right? So it's naturally things get better for a lot of kids. I mean, I've actually had clients ask me, do your daughters have cell phones? And I'm like, they're 10 and 12.
Do they?
And no, they do not.
No.
But a lot of their friends do at 10 and 12.
Well, the other thing, could you just make them one? Like,
let's get some rice out and leave it for the fairies or something.
It's like an old Chinese recipe. We just make our own cell phones in their off time. It's like mittens.
But if you think about it, what's the cost of a cell phone right now? Even minimal use, like $65?
I'd say $65.
Okay, so just think about that. A lot of people are putting, and this isn't judgment, it's just analytical facts here on it. If you're taking $65 a month, putting into your cell phone for your 10-year-old, you're missing $65 a month into something like an RESP for 8 years of their life.
Yeah, but that's also people that are our age that don't think about their future because we're stupid.
Well, generally, yes, that's true.
And how many people?
A lot of people would rather be friends with their kids than prepare them for a better future.
I don't think my kids like me that much.
Well, they should be a little scared of you. It should be like, the warrior in the garden mentality, right?
Fear is a great motivator. And I don't say that to be mean, but the reality is you want your kids to be tough enough to live through life, right?
Yeah.
And I have yet to meet anybody under the age of 21 that I could say, you know what? They're going to go places and they're going to do some things. It's just the lack of self-confidence, the lack of my dad was not. Yeah, like, you don't have to like me, just respect me.
Well, you got to look at a lot of the younger kids, the early 20s and such right now. They literally went through COVID, where we told them that if you don't wear a mask and stay safe and wash your hands and everything, you will kill your grandparents. I mean, that's kind of an emotional blackmail for a young child that's going to haunt them for the rest of their lives.
Right. Now, depending on how much you focus on that, like to our kids, COVID is a distant memory. Like Bo went through kindergarten during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like young enough that it probably would make an impact, but it's not a
Taylor did as well. Yeah, we did the same thing.
Right. So did it affect her as much? She didn't have a social life to begin with.
Yeah.
Right. So Gage maybe a bit, but I've never heard them mention it ever. No. Not that I'm telling them to bottle it up, but
both of my kids have mentioned it, like not for a while, but they both have said that they loved COVID. They loved it.
I loved COVID. You know why? Because they got their schoolwork done. They were learning some stuff.
So we homeschooled. So the girls basically got to sleep in every day, right? There was always somebody at home with them, so they were always safe. Yep. You know, like every Friday we'd order pizza or Benny's or something like that. So there's always something fun, or HelloFresh or whatever's coming in. And we watched a ton of 80s movies and played board games or whatever.
They got a chance to learn about life, which they're not learning in school. Canadian Ape just said kids call adults by their first names. That would be a cold day in hell.
No, that's not. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and even when I see an adult, unless you're working with your parent, we talked about this a couple streams ago. If you're working with them, it's different. But the balls I would have to call my dad by his first name, holy crap, no. Yeah. You just don't. Even when it's somebody who I don't know, if they're older than me, like it's sir, it's ma'am, it's Mr. Blank, it's Mrs. Blank.
Yeah.
That's just what you were taught. Because to me, like as a child, parents, there's a hierarchy. They're here. You're like here somewhere.
Kind of underneath the family pet, right?
Yeah, the family pet got a little better attention.
Yeah, yeah. Family pet could call you on a first name basis.
But I do think that we had, I hate to use that bullshit School of Hard Knocks crap, but the reality is we had to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I would not have gone to my parents because I couldn't find a sock. What? Find it. Like you put it wherever you put it is where it is. That's the only explanation I can give you. You put it somewhere, that's where it is. And I have to stop myself from doing that with kids by say, oh, okay, I'll come and get it. No, I'm done. Figure it out, guys. But I need it for school. Yeah, so you better go find it.
Shouldn't have waited till the last minute. So a couple of weeks ago, we went swimming, and my daughter couldn't find her eye cover. She likes wearing goggles so she can swim underwater a lot, right?
Right.
So she was pretty upset. She didn't have as much fun because she didn't find them, but she couldn't find them, didn't know where they were, no idea. So a few days later, she comes up to me and she goes, "Don't come into my room." I'm like, "Why?" "Because I found my goggles."
And
I was like, "Oh, where were they?" "I don't want to tell you." And then I'm like, "Oh, so like were they hiding somewhere?" And she slowly opens the door, and there they are hanging on her bed. Right at eye level. Right at eye level. And she's like, they were right there the whole time.
Dude, I have come out of my car into my house to find my glasses that were on my forehead.
Yep. Yep.
You know, that's because I'm old, and that's just
it happens. You know,
it happens, but we don't complain about it. And this is again going back to where we are in society. We never talked about it when we were younger. We bottled that shit up. Is it the fact that we don't talk about mental health, that it's not that it wasn't an issue, or do we talk about it so much that it's like, okay, what's your issue? Because apparently everybody's got something.
Well, I think that's some of it. And I've seen this, you know, when people talk about various problems or whatever, and you kind of say it's, you know, maybe it's poverty, homelessness, all these things, right? And people go, mental health. Like, no, like it's not a big, like it is a broad spectrum, but you can't just give it the similar grace for different problems, different considerations, different people, different stories. It's not just it can't be just used as a one single statement, right?
No,
and it loses its power that way.
And you can't give a pill for everything. Like, I'm sorry, there's no pill to keep a person from being an asshole.
No, that's what punches are for.
Well, there you go. And that was the cure for a lot of attitude. See, exactly. There's a difference between attitude and ism of whatever.
Yep.
Right. And we got into this whole let's cure your problem where we had our attitudes adjusted when we were kids.
Well, there's that. Yeah. So that's nowadays it's definitely changing. You can see a lot more pushback, but where it was like, give everyone lots of grace, almost too much. And it's like, well, hold on, just because I still need to and will respect you as a human being and a person who's potentially going through something that you're having a hard time coping with, doesn't mean that you get to be a complete jerk to everybody around you.
No. And that's when someone calls you out on your bullshit, which suddenly you're getting targeted where, no, you're being a dick. And if they need to talk about it, the problem is, and Canadian Ape said it, guys are able to talk about, how old are you, Canadian Ape? I'm 48, so I'm guessing we're in the same ballpark here. But guys don't talk about our feelings because the reality is nobody wants to hear it. And we don't want to sound like we're bitching.
Well, I mean, there's a truth. I mean, I've talked
63.
there's lots of people I've talked to, and this goes for men and for women or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
And one person will be upset, and the other person will say, like, what are you thinking? Penny for your thoughts or whatever. And the other one will be like, well, I don't really want to tell you. No, open up. I want to hear, I want to hear what you have to say. I'm concerned or whatever. I care about you. And then the person explains what's on their mind. It could be the worries, the fears, all these problems that have built up, right?
Right.
And the other person can kind of give them the blank look and go, wow, I was not ready to hear that.
Well,
because you want to hear, they want to hear the good stuff. I love you. I love being with you. I want to spend all my time with you, not, my fears and insecurities and all these problems that I'm facing constantly.
And we've got them because so guys are different than women. I think that, and I don't know exactly how a woman's brain thinks. I don't understand piss all about women. Sherry, hey, Sherry's here.
Different
boomer. Canadian's a boomer. And I'll tell you what, boomers raised the toughest pricks on the planet with the Gen X. And I do thank boomers for what they did. And people could say, oh, you were ignored. You know what? It helped. Something worked.
There's nothing wrong with being bored. That's where creativity comes from.
Bored.
That's where the creativity
comes from. And I do think that boredom is one of those things that we want people to always be active. Well, you don't have to be always active. We're streaming on, oh, sorry, Sherry. We're on, I'm using Restream, so we can see your chat, and I haven't figured out how to invite people in from another platform. We are working on it. Does it look weird on your side, Sherry? I don't know. Does it look different on TikTok? It must.
I mean, Facebook seems to be working well, so it's good.
Yeah.
Instagram did not go though.
Your Instagram didn't have your name on the thing, so maybe it's waiting for something.
Yeah, I think
it does look weird. Does it look bad, Sherry, or is it fine? Like it just looks different? If it looks bad, that sucks. This gets us going. So we got YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. That's right, and Instagram. And Jayon's getting his Instagram going.
That's not going to go anywhere right now.
We'll figure this out. We have one Asian in the room. It just looks different. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't think we can just bring someone into the chat anymore, but I love chit-chatting with people. So when you have the fact that guys don't want to talk about it because the reality is nobody really wants to hear it. And sometimes when you let it out, it starts a fight. So you just stop talking and it doesn't solve the problem.
Right.
So why bother in the first place? Because we've all had this. We're married, right? We're all married. So the odd time and lots of times you have the communication is what breaks down in a marriage.
Yeah.
Which is typical, right? And sometimes it's because you can vomit out everything that's going on in your mind. You can just say, listen, I'm broken, I'm this, I'm that, and everything else. And sometimes you can feel like, why did I just emotionally shit all over the house?
Yep.
Or in the room where you're talking. And I don't know. I think that it's different where I think women will talk to their friends. They'll have a conversation. Like I've had conversations in this barber chair that deep, man. I've had some deep conversations. And it's sad that I'm the guy that, and I love to listen, I love to talk, But sometimes it's like, wow, I'm the only person you could talk to right now because I'm so third party.
Yeah.
I'm so
Disconnected
not in
away
the
from
mix.
the problem. Yep.
Yeah, and like Sherry said, they talk to their friends or they talk to, and I've seen girls on TikTok talking in groups. And you have that, and it's great to have that core, but is it an echo chamber sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Or are there solutions happening? Like I've had some hard talks in here where I've said, listen, I don't know, because they're not going to tell you everything. You're going to have her story, his story, and somewhere in between, or a guy who's just going through hell and he's ready to like go off the deep end.
Yep.
And
final on the issues.
Oh, dude, I think suicide rates are way, way higher for guys.
They are. They're drastically
higher. Why is that? Is it because guys tend to have the ability to do it?
Well, a lot of it is there's actually some good discussion about that topic, and one of the big reasons is that men don't seek out help as much as women. Okay, and the other reason is because for men and their problems, they do find that talk therapy is not always as effective for most men. So when you have the two solutions being medicate or talk therapy, and if you don't want either one, what are your other options?
Well, I think that sometimes getting the pressure off your brain helps because you can, you like if you're talking to your friends, I think that relieves some pressure. But if there's no solutions happening,
then there is the issue of as men age, they maintain fewer friendships.
Oh my God! Here's a rate. Oh, let's try this. See what that looks like. Look at this.
There you go.
See that?
Yep. Very good.
Suicide rates by men. That's is insane.
Yep.
Like 10 to 19. So the highest suicide rate for men and the biggest difference is between 50 and 64. So boomers and Gen Xers and 20 to 34, like that is staggering. So I didn't think it was that big.
Like I said, they have found that men, as they get older, have a hard time maintaining men's friendships. I remember seeing something. It was an article, I think, and they asked men and women of approximately the same age, "Who is your best friend?" So the men all said, "My wife," and the women all said, "Not my husband."
I believe that.
So because that's true, 100%. Because women tend to have more social groups. They go out and nurture friendships at a much exponentially larger basis.
Shoot, Sherry. I can't hear you, but I can read you. But you're right. Women have a best friend. I would guarantee you they have a best friend. Where guys, like I have a lot of what's the word?
Acquaintances.
Well, it's different. I did a TikTok on this last week, and I said my friendships are in 20-minute, half-hour intervals once a month, and literally my wife is on the front. Yeah, that happens. We have buddies, right? But it's half an hour a month, and we generally start the conversation where the last one ended, and it just continues.
Yep.
Like, I would consider them. I consider everybody to be friends. Like, it's been 20 plus years of chatting.
Yep.
You have two best friends, which are like such as guys. We don't like I have a buddy, like my buddy Brad. I've known him since I was 12. I consider him like a brother, but we see each other 3 times a year, and we're good. You think your question was ghosted? Try it again and just try to word it differently. Maybe. Yeah, hit it again. I don't see it. I'm work with me. We're trying to figure out technology. But I think that when girls talk to their friends, like I believe when a girl goes for coffee or drink, they're probably emotionally dumping on each other, which is fine. Like you got to do it.
Yep.
However, if we don't hear it, can I see without my glasses? Nope. How are we supposed to fix it?
Well, that's the thing.
Whoa. Oh, Jesus.
You can't be cryptic. It's got to be kind of obvious.
Don't take your glasses off, Quentin. Anyway. No, like, who do you emotionally dump on?
Yourself.
No, you personally.
Well, I guess
nobody
besides my wife, right?
Well, and I think that guys,
when I do talk to guys, sometimes the topics can go of all different types, depending on what needs. It's not like I'm worried about talking about sensitive matters to people. I don't really have concerns about that.
No, but I would say that there's a good chance that guys, we were also told boys to suck it a bit. You're not wrong. And I'll tell you what, I would be willing to bet that more guys have intense conversations with their steering wheel than with anybody else.
Yeah. Sitting in the garage.
Or just like
in the shower.
If you cry every morning in the shower, it helps your day get better because it gets better if you start that way.
Yeah. Get it out.
Sure, TikTok was an innocent question. Yeah, I see you, Roy. Thanks, man. Subscribe so it looks like we're doing something positive here.
Please.
But here's the thing. And what do guys do? Like, girls will talk to their friends.
Yeah.
And that's great that women have that, because I hate to say, I'm going to sound like a dick for a minute, but is it fair to say that women love drama more than guys? They like to hear it. Like, does their life sound a little bit better when their friends complaining about theirs?
Well, there are soap operas. Now, I dated a girl who years ago, she loved soap operas, would always watch soap operas. And I asked her, why do you like this crap? And she said, I like to see people with bigger problems than my own. And I was like, they're fictional.
Yeah, they're not real. Someone's writing that story.
Jesus.
Like, where do you think road rage comes from? That's probably where it is. Yeah. I bet you. Guys yelling at his steering wheel all the way home.
Yep.
Physical exercise doesn't help expel emotional energy. Yes, it does. I believe it does.
100%. It is one of the recommended things that people do use when they're dealing with depression or whatever it is, as something that can help mitigate the symptoms, because endorphin release.
I have had like rage workouts.
Yep.
Like where I go and I'm just like, you're sweating to the point where you're just done. You're gassed, but you feel better, man. Like you get it out, and finally it worked. Yeah, it works. But physical exercise does it, because if you can push yourself physically, I think that the emotional part follows. It has to.
Yep. Yeah, it puts you out of a dark place.
That you can go right into a dark place with your headphones on. I have to get up for 4:30. Hey, Canadian Ape, thanks for showing up, man. I love having you on. And get some sleep. I got to be up at 4 for the gym too. So
now I do find a lot of guys are starting to find men's groups and such, social groups where they can have men who maybe are not their good friends. Maybe they're not even in the same city, where they can actually have discussions and communicate, whether this is through chat groups or whatever it might be. There's quite a few good ones out there online too, which would have massive followings. They do regular teachings and coachings, and even like in-person events.
And I think this is also where self-help books and self-help courses help, because guys have trouble. Like, therapy is fine. It's good. I recommend therapy if you can find a therapist that you can click with.
Yep.
Right. Like, I remember going to therapy. It was like, they're not telling me anything. All they're doing is asking me questions.
Oh, that's the thing.
Oh, you're done? Okay, that's it. The conversation's over. Thanks, Jay.
I'm out of here.
Did your cat jump out of the frying pan?
It did. Got to go put it back in. It's like that joke. Took me 3 hours to bury the cat. 3 hours to bury the cat? Well, it went hold still.
How many ways are there really to skin a cat? There's more than one.
There's more than one.
Apparently.
So yeah, there's a few.
It's a lot harder to end one with a stapler than you think too.
It takes a lot.
Hard. Yeah, that's all you got.
Here's a book that you guys that you might like. Anyways, I don't know, but this is called the Men's Work, actually, by Connor Beaton. So he just works with a lot of guys and has a group actually just working with shadow development. So like kind of those bad things that happen in people that they repress and they hold down that affect them throughout the day. So
well, and some people have isms, whatever you want to call them, isms. There's always something. Like I've talked and I've had conversations with therapists and stuff, because I've got some baggage that's in there.
Yeah.
And it's imposter syndrome of all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the most common things that people do tend to suffer with.
Yeah, like I shouldn't be here. I know I should be here because I've earned the right to be here and I'm doing it.
But someone's going to find out that I'm a fraud, I'm a fake, that I've been lying my way through.
You feel like you are, although you've earned your spot.
Yep.
That's the worst thing. And I think that and that's what also gives you like anxiety, like myself doing this or at the chair, or if I can MC something, I can have purpose. You put me in front of a crowd with a script or with a reason to be there, I'll knock it out of the park. And I've hosted things and I've done that. But you put me into a crowded room and ask me to mingle and hang out.
Yeah.
I would rather
rather do anything other than that.
I'd rather eat a cup full of MSG.
Yeah.
And
we'll find out.
Down that and wash it down with a prune smoothie.
Yeah, excellent.
And then we wait.
All very bad. Yeah. Jump up and down and shake it up a little bit.
Then go on the trampoline on a hot day.
Yep.
With plastic pants.
Jesus. Not good.
But no,
so like imposter syndrome is a real deal though.
Imposter syndrome, it's a weird thing because it's you can work your tail off and you've earned the right to be there. You're winning an award, you're doing whatever. But you're like, should I
find out. Yeah.
It's like the same reason why I don't attend like Christmas parties. I'm like, why are we here? Like, why are we here? This is we're not friends. We work with each other. Am I part of this group or not? And sometimes you feel like you're not part of the group because you don't fit that mold. Hey, T's here. T, I didn't mean this. I was going to say this before. I'm going to say it now. I love your name, but it looks like a lower back tattoo. Like, it's like symbols, and then a heart, and then a thing in the middle, and then a heart, and then a symbol, which is cool. Hey, but no, I think that we guys deal with stuff weird, and I think that sometimes men get pushed to their limit.
Yep.
Like pushed. Like, how much more can I give you? Yet they're not, but apparently they're not fulfilling the needs of the people around.
Yep.
Like, I'm giving you everything I got. I got nothing left. I'm tapped.
Yep.
And
that's it. But you want more.
Well, they want more, but and maybe what you're giving isn't enough, but you're sure that you're at the edge of your well. There's I don't know what else I can give you. And that's when that whole worthlessness and loneliness and that can build up. And that's why you look at these stats and it's like these guys, like you look at these age stats, these are people that should be in the prime of everything. And are they doing that? Are they on a hamster wheel all day long? Is their life just a series of tasks?
There is a lot of that, when it comes to people discovering careers and jobs. For example, what did you want to be when you were 12?
A marine biologist, but I'm allergic to fish.
Okay. And so here's the issue. People at that age pick a career, and some hold on to it for a lot longer than others, right?
Okay.
Of that dream, but they don't actually know what that job entails.
Yep.
Okay. So I hear this from a lot of kids. They're going to be a doctor or whatever it might be. And it's like, okay, that's fair. Good for you. Right. Why do you want to be that career? Well, because I want to help people. Well, we could flip burgers. That's helping.
Well, I think that a lot of people think that you watch Grey's Anatomy and that's what a doctor is, but you'll see that. And seriously, women do too, but it's mental exhaustion. Mental exhaustion is, I think it's carried different between men and women.
100% it is.
And I think it's probably the same, but you have your group of friends that you can vent it to, where guys, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that way. It's just different. Like, we have walls around us that built when we were kids, and we keep those walls up. And
there's also the difference of, you get about 5 or 6 guys together and you start saying, I have a problem. You're going to solve it. There's
a good chance. I didn't know my career path until I was
finding the solutions behind it, as opposed to just hashing it out at a deeper level.
Look at Roy. Can you see the Facebook chat?
Yeah. Sold behind the chair by a wise old man.
Here's the thing. people do. And Roy, the guy, and he's our age, hard worker, but I'll tell you what, he finally found what was right, and he put the pedal to the metal and has been killing it. And I'm proud of him, because when it takes a long time to find your groove, and then once you hit it, and I think, and Roy, it has nothing to do with me. It's the fact that you found it and you hit it with the afterburners, man. Like it's rare to see someone our age get into a new career, and just kill it. So,
well, you got to go all in. If you like that's kind of the thing, you know, like if you decide to choose a career or a choice of occupation or whatever it might be, you're going to have a whole lot of people who are closest to you doubting, mocking, and making fun of your choices. And it's mainly because they can't visualize you changing the person that you are into the person that you want to be. And that could be a scary thing for them, right?
Well, and we worry about what people think, right? And that's the worst thing. If you're going to move on with your career and you're afraid to do it because you're worried about, ooh, what are they going to say if I do this, or if I try it and fail?
Yep.
Right. And now I'm a fool. You had a good thing going. Why would you change paths? And Roy Sanga pointed out, Roy, you were talking about it. You made the jump that you needed to make. And I definitely, was your cheerleader, man, for sure. But he the guy can sell like he's
you don't get a lot of guys going to OnlyFans. I'll say that.
I don't think anybody would watch me. Like, here's the problem with OnlyFans. Let's just say it was someone like us. It'd be what, us sitting there reading, like sitting on our phones and text. I bet you there's people on OnlyFans that sit there with their phones and just text all night and get paid.
Probably
watching text. They wouldn't do that for us.
No. But what would be sitting there reading some self-help book, crying or something in the shower? Right.
Actually, self-help. I had one of the best courses I took. I did. Oh, it was Matthew McConaughey's. It was based on his Greenlights book, and it was. I did his thing.
Did you? Yep.
Yeah, I did the workshop. It was good, and
I did that workshop too.
Okay, it was good.
Yep.
And it was very internal, and I think we have to look in. I'm going to sound cheesy, but you got to look inside, because we are pretty much the cause and the solution of all of our problems.
Yep. I thought you did a very good job. I wish you kind of.
Oh, why? Why'd you go away? Jay on. You hit a button. Jay.
Hold on.
What'd you do? Yeah. Of all the people on the planet that should understand technology, it should be you.
Yeah, it should be.
Why? It should be. Why? I love the fact that people aren't like leaving us hanging because we're stumbling through this new studio.
I'm kind of here. Hold on.
I got no phone. I can't see you.
You can see me now.
Did you just move?
No, I had to.
Did you move?
No. My camera, I moved it and the whole thing unplugged.
Oh,
everything unplugged. I lost.
Did you call IT? Well, you're the IT.
I am the IT guy. That's the problem.
You are. I think that when with guys, and we again looking at the suicide rates, look at the fact that people are taking that, like the injury rates are insane. Like guys that just like hospitalization rates associated with self-inflicted injury per 100,000 people in 2021 by age and sex, 187 to 43 men to women, 102 to 61 for 20 to 34. Like, when do you hit that bottom, man? Is it the fact that we're not talking?
A big part of it.
You got no voice. Oh,
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay.
Can you hear me? So a lot of it is
I can hear you.
People don't have a voice, and also one of the big things is you get stuck in a career without any upward momentum. So if you have a career and there's no potential for movement, for growth, you're not in a good place. If your career stays the same and your pay stays the same and you can't ever change, that's depressing.
Well, and that's when people stay in jobs that they hate.
Yep.
And the golden handcuffs are locked in.
Yep.
I can't leave because I'm going to get less pension. Great. You're going to hate the last 10 years of work.
Yep. But
you're only losing 20% of your pension. Like, just go do something else.
Yep. Pick up a part-time job and just have some fun with it.
We could, but we don't. Like, people choose to, and it's a trap. Like, being self-employed, it's fine. It's great. I love it. But I mean, there are days
what other people will think too, right? There's a huge amount of fear of judgment. Like, you talk about the imposter syndrome, we also have the spotlight effect, right? Where you feel like everyone is looking at you in the spotlight and everyone's judging you. Right?
Yeah.
But
And
that's the irony, because if you want to be on stage, you got to have everyone looking at you.
You do. And I think that people have to realize that unless you're paying my bills or sleeping in my bed, I don't give a damn what you think.
Yep.
Period.
Exactly.
But we're more worried about how our buddies who have shitty jobs that they hate,
yep,
what they're going to think. You're like, dude, you haven't made any improvements in the last 15 years I've known you, and you're going to judge me because I decided I'm going to make a change in my career. But when I went to real estate, like, you know how insane that sounded to people?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're going to be a realtor.
Dude, I went to massage therapy.
Yeah, but you're Chinese. You
can
do that.
It still doesn't matter. You know, I had a lot of people say you're an idiot. Why the hell would you do that sort of thing?
Oh, when I started cutting hair, I went to hair school. My parents had to ask if there was anything else that I wanted to tell them about my lifestyle, besides the fact that I was going to cut hair.
It's like, yeah, like cigars. Does that count?
Right? No, I think that when you have this roadblock of don't tell us shit, your friends are judging you, and your friends that aren't doing better than you. Here's the thing. If you're not doing any better than I am, shut up.
You will never be criticized or judged by a person doing more than you.
No, because they want you to get to the level.
Yeah, the only people will ever drag you down are the ones who don't want you to advance beyond them.
And why is that? Is that where we are now in life? I want to keep you at my level.
Some people are happy at certain levels and they just can't see or even fathom the possibility of them taking a risk to move outside of their current comfort zone.
True. I mean, even when I started doing this, like when I started podcasting back during COVID, it was what podcast? Why? I'm like,
nobody does that. You know, it's whatever, right?
Because I want to, because I have. Was anybody listening? I don't care. If they're listening, great. If we're having a conversation, fantastic. If the chat is going and people are talking through chat, then someone's watching and someone's engaging.
And it's making a difference in somebody's life.
It's a hobby, but if we're having this conversation and people are saying, "Oh, these guys are making points," you're absolutely right.
Yep. Like,
where was I? I had these. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so rewinding back to where we're talking about mental, and this is with Gage asking about mental health. Like, how does that affect people? I go, it can make people sad. It can make people depressed. It can make people super happy for no reason. Yep. There's not one thing that's going to gonna put it. You can't draw mental health. Yep. And that was the assignment. He had to draw it, and
okay,
like I don't know what's put on there. So
you put a clown with a happy and sad face.
You know what he did? He actually did the side profile of a head with the brain being like a thunderstorm.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
And that made sense.
That's pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. So he's creative, and I dig that. But I mean, I'm looking at, and these are some of the notes I made about like what do guys do to escape, right? Guys will get real quiet.
Yep.
Will sleep. Like, I'm tired. I'm just going to bed. So guys will retract from everybody.
Sleep is a big escape.
Sleep, because that's the only time your brain can shut off. But then you're dreaming about the shit that pisses you off.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt when you're sleeping.
It doesn't hurt when you're sleeping. That's creative and impressive. Hey, he's 11 years old. The kid's a little artist. And I'm not saying that because he's my son and he's awesome. But I'll tell you what, you know what? I tell my kids, be weird, draw weird shit, and you never know what's going to come out. Please be the weird kid. Please, there's a limit, but you be you, man.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that when people have that ability to be creative and just express themselves in a relatively healthy manner, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think that remember we had goth kids?
Yep.
And like rocker kids and skater kids and all that.
But the crazy thing, all those goth kids were like these dark poets. No, the rocker kids were making all their lyrics for their songs.
Dude, I had long hair when I moved here from Dauphin. Like I had like long hair. And I was your Iron Maiden, Motley Crue. Like I was that guy, Metallica. I was the guy with the jean jacket with the flannel underneath. That was me. And then you found your little group.
Yep.
And that group understood each other. And I think that because now authenticity is hard to teach. It's very hard to teach.
Well,
and you can't teach
it's also very buzzy, you know, and you hear that from people. You know, they'll say something that's offensive or something that's crass or whatever, and they'll be like, well, you know what, that's just me being my authentic self. It's like, no, that's you being a jerk, and you can't use the desire to be authentic as a get out of jail free card for being a jerk.
Yeah, like being my authentic self. There was a time when being your authentic, there was a time and place to be your authentic self, and if you did it at the wrong time, at the wrong place, to the wrong person, you got a tooth loosened.
That's it, you know, because it's not socially. Just because you say this is who I am at my core does not mean that that's an acceptable behavior to represent in public.
No, like if you're a complete asshole, you're not going to be very popular.
No.
And I don't have to be okay with you being a dick. Like no one has to be okay with you forcing whatever you're forcing down someone's throat. It's turned into this trauma bragging.
Yep.
Which is my favorite term when someone blames every negative aspect of their life on some shit that may or may not have possibly happened. Who knows when they were 3? Maybe. I'm sure it did. I'm sure people do have trauma. That's a real thing. Well, this is what gets me. The people that actually have serious trauma, hearing some bullshit story about someone who didn't.
Yep.
I felt like the bitch about the time that they only got 1 scoop of ice cream and that ruined their life.
Yep.
That must be frustrating for people who actually had real trauma, like real serious shit that happened in their lives.
Yep.
Like someone needs bigger problems. And that's the socially acceptable stuff that's questioned. That's squashed. Yeah. Yeah. Like it's okay to say, I think that when I was 5, I got lost in Walmart and that's why I've got abandonment issues. Well, I used to get in shit for hiding in the clothes racks.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I'm not going to come and find you if you pull that shit again.
Okay. Bud, what are you doing? Well, that's the thing, you know, like.
Are you fattening that one up for breakfast?
Yep. You got him. So give him a little MSG. So
a little MSG will put it right down.
Anyway, I got to run. Got to get this guy going and get the girls to bed. So.
Okay. Well, guys, we tested this. It's not terrible, but it's working. So next time we'll get this thing rolling and we'll have everything rolling on TikTok and all the other platforms. Again, if anybody was watching, fantastic. Trust me, it's a lot more fun when we aren't pissing around with computers because computers suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I had some people watching it, and so did you.
Yep, there's been a few people watching. So
you know what? Perfect. I mean, the TikTok numbers are different because it's an insane amount of numbers where we got our regulars, and you guys are awesome. Okay, I got to go because my kids just came back from swimming or skating. It's 9:30. Guys, I love you for joining us and helping us get through this crap.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. A little bit of criticism would be good in the comments too.
Yeah, tell us how bad we suck because if something happened wrong, like live chat didn't work on there. I know we've only got Facebook and YouTube. My Twitch thing isn't working, so who knows if anyone's watching on Twitch. Like, I don't know if anybody actually watches Twitch, but if you're out there, thanks. We'll get rolling. KJ, have a great night.
Awesome. Have a good night,
and we will iron out the bugs. We'll practice this without going live and see how that works.
That'd be good too.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
See you,
thanks, everybody. Cheers.